If you're getting nowhere with foam rolling your painful IT band, you should probably give this video a watch. I've helped over 500 people fix their injuries and become pain-free, whether that be getting back to training or just doing daily activities. In this video, I'm going to explain why foam rolling won't fix your IT band pain, what the real cause is, and 5 simple exercises you can use for long-term pain relief. But first, what is the IT band? So ignore my crude drawing skills. The hip is represented by this circle at the top, and then your knee is represented by this circle at the bottom. And the IT band connects the two, if you will, and it lies on the outside of your leg. So not the front, not the back, on the lateral or the outer bit of your hip. And what is the IT band? Well, it's a tendon, but it's non-contractile, which basically means you can't load it, it can't be strengthened, it can't be affected by pressure, it can't be stretched. So you can kind of understand now why foam rolling isn't going to do anything for it. It might give you some short-term pain relief because when you put pressure on the area, it's sending a signal to your brain to essentially give you some pain relief there. A bit like when you stub your toe, you rub your toe, it feels better, or you bang your elbow, you get your funny bone, the nerve there, you rub your elbow and it feels better. But it's not the long-term solution for this IT band pain, because you're getting pain down on your knee, but the pain is actually referring up from your hip, which is where the real issue is. So the issue is from up here, but the pain is referring down to your knee. So the knee isn't actually the issue. It's usually a lack of mobility and strength up at your hip. So I've got a nice little model of the hips here to demonstrate what movements we need to improve. So if we go side on here, and this is the front of your pelvis, and then this is the back. So we've got these two postures to start with, which you've probably seen before. So we can dump the pelvis forward, which I liken to Instagram models sticking their bum out. They've got a really arched lower back and their bum sticking out. So that's where your pelvis is rolled forward. And then the other one is where your pelvis is tucked under. And this is the opposite. So someone with a very flat back and no bum. So we need to be able to access those two movements. Then if I go straight onto the camera there, we can also shift the pelvis laterally. And this happens when we're walking or when we're running. So one side will drop, the other side will lift, vice versa. And then we can also rotate the pelvis like that. Okay, so we need to get the pelvis moving well, essentially, because all the muscles in the hip tie into the pelvis. If it's not moving well, then no matter how much strengthening you do, it's not going to fix the issue and sort out these hip muscles. So exercise number 1 is pelvic tilts. So lie on your back, knees bent, nice and relaxed. And I want you to imagine, again, your pelvis here is a water bottle. And you're going to initially roll that water bottle forward, tip it forward, so your lower back is arched and you've got a nice little gap under your lower back, so it's off the floor. Do that as slowly, as smoothly as you can. And then you're going to roll that water bottle back. So tilt your pelvis back, so your lower back is nice and flat on the floor. Practice 3 to 5 reps of this, slow and controlled as possible. I don't want you to tense and use loads of muscles, just practice smoothing out that movement. From there, once you've got that, then we're going to add in some breathing work with that. So as you roll that pelvis forward, or tip your water bottle forward, and your lower back is arched and off the floor, I want you to inhale smoothly through your nose. And then as you roll that pelvis back and your lower back is flat into the floor, I want you to exhale smoothly through your mouth. Go for 2 to 3 sets of anywhere from 10 to 15 breaths. Again, neither one of these positions is bad or good. We just want the ability to access both, which will get the pelvis moving better, which will relieve a lot of tension and get the muscles working better around the hips. Exercise number 2 is 90-90 knee rolls. So set up opposite a wall, knees at 90 degrees. Feet are going to go flat on the wall. Feet don't move, they stay pointing up. Imagine you've got paint on the bottom of your feet, can't move them. Slight tuck of your pelvis. So lift your hips about 0.5 centimetre off the floor. Your hamstring should be working hard in this position. I don't want you to use your lower back or your glutes. Once we're in this position, we're going to do quite a awkward or unfamiliar movement to most people. So we're going to alternate, bringing one knee down and then one knee up. So you're tapping each bum cheek to the ground. And you should feel a really nice opening sensation just above your lower back at your tailbone, but also deep into your hip sockets. Don't rush this again. This is a sensation exercise, and you should feel a really nice opening sensation at the hips. And it's very normal to have one side stiffer than the other with this. Don't rush this. I don't want this movement to be side to side. I want it to be up and down, nice and smooth. Go for 2 to 3 sets, anywhere from 15 to 20 reps. Exercise number 3, you're going to flip onto your side, knees at 90 degrees again, feet are going to go flat on the wall, but in a slightly different position. But common theme, they don't move. Imagine you've got paint on the bottom of them. Pop your hand on your top glute, and then you're going to shift that leg and that knee all the way over, so it's its end range. Once we've got into that position, then I want you to try lift your bottom knee off the floor and try tap that top knee. If you're doing this right, it will be incredibly difficult and you'll feel a really strong contraction in the inside of your hip and your groin, but also on that top glute. If you're not doing it right and you haven't shifted that top knee or top leg over, it will be very easy to do, so you know you're doing it wrong. So make sure you shift it all the way over, and then you're lifting that bottom knee up to tap that top knee. Go for 2 to 3 sets of anywhere from 5 to 10 reps. Exercise number 4 even, and exercise number 5 are going to focus on the muscles. So the first 3 are getting the pelvis moving well, which is great, but now we actually want to target the glutes. So first one is going to target the glute max. Glute bridge, lying as shown, set up on that bench, back, mid back or upper back on the bench, feet under your knees, so roughly 90-degree bend. Tuck your chin so you've got a nice neutral spine. And then from that bottom position, all I want you to do is squeeze your glutes until you get to that top position. If you feel your lower back working, then you haven't tucked your chin. I don't want you to be extended and looking up towards the ceiling, because then your lower back will be doing the work, and the only thing I want working is your glutes. Go for 3 sets of 10 to 12 reps at body weight. Once this is easy and comfortable, then you can move on to a single leg glute bridge, which is exactly the same cues, but obviously a lot more challenging because you're on one leg. Once you've done this, you can overload and make this more challenging by adding a kettlebell or a dumbbell into your hip crease to overload it. Go for 3 sets of anywhere from 8 to 12 reps on the single leg. The final exercise is going to focus on the glute medius and minimus, which is on the outside of your hip. So you need a cable machine for this ideally, instead of bands, because with a cable machine you can progressively overload this and increase the weight week by week. So stick your foot into the cable attachment, or if you haven't got that, just round a band. Leg nice and straight. Use a PVC pipe or wooden stick to support you, so balance isn't a limiting factor and you're not going to fall over. Keeping that leg nice and straight, you're going to move that leg away from you, and you should feel a really strong contraction in the outside of your hip or your glute, around the glute med, glute min. 3 sets of 15 reps on each side. Be wary of this one initially, because this can set off a little bit of symptoms and potentially be a bit irritable. If so, just start off on a really light band, or with a cable machine, start at the bottom weight. If it's irritable with a cable machine, then again, just drop the band, work up, build up, increase the resistance each week, and then start to use the cable machine. A little bit of pain is okay, we just don't want it to be excruciating. By the way, if you want to work with me one-to-one, just check out the links down below in the description.